This is everything you need to know about the Triumph 400 XC in 3 minutes or less. And as the owner of an R1250 GS, I've got to ask the question, is it time to downsize? This liquid-cooled single-cylinder 398cc motor makes 39.5 brake horsepower at 8,000 RPM and 27.7 pound-foot at 6,500 RPM. It's not fast, but it's got plenty of go in it for twisty back roads, and even on motorways it'll easily do 70 mile an hour and plenty more. At 70 it's doing just over 6,000 RPM, but it doesn't feel too thrashy to me. It starts using a bit more fuel then, hovering around 50 miles per gallon. Riding it sedately, you can get 67 miles per gallon out of it, but if you're thrashing it, it soon drops down. I'm starting to see in about 55, 56 miles per gallon. You'd have no trouble pulling away from traffic with this motor, and even overtaking cars on 60 mile an hour back roads, it's got more than enough in it. In town, you'll probably be sat in third gear most of the time, and first gear's a little bit short, but working the gearbox is no bother at all. It's fairly slick, not too notchy. There's no quick shifter, but upshifts without the clutch are a breeze. The Scrambler's not got any adjustment on the suspension except for preload at the rear. But despite it being a relatively affordable bike, this is still really good setup. I'm 14 stone, it's comfortable, compliant, and it works really well even when you're pushing on twisty, bumpy back roads. Never gets out of shape. Very, very impressive. By the way, you can check out my full test of this by searching for Scrambler 400 XC review and looking for the Bennett's logo. I'm 5'10", but there's plenty of room on this bike. It doesn't feel cramped at all. You can move around really easily on this seat. So if you want to get your weight over the front, that's no bother. And if you want to stretch yourself out a bit when you're on the motorway, you can. The Scrambler's great when you're sat on it, but I also found it really good when stood up riding around off-road. With it being so lightweight, I'm more happy taking this places that I wouldn't want to take my GS, because if it goes wrong, if I fall off it, I can easily pick it up. And 186 kilograms, even if you're a bit unconfident on something, or you're struggling with some surfaces, or on something a bit off camber, it's dead easy, and it's really easy to move around, whether you're riding it or just pushing it around in the garage. 4-piston radially mounted caliper. It's a Bibri, that's by Brembo. They've not got a huge amount of bite, but you don't really want that if you're taking it on some dodgy surfaces or off-road. You could change the pads, maybe for the ones from the Speed 400, which have a little bit more bite, but honestly, it's only when you're doing more panicked braking that you have to grab a little bit more, and you'll still pull up very quickly on this bike. At night on unlit roads, a combination of the dim headlight and the very bright dash make this bike really difficult to ride. When you put it on main beam, the dash dims itself, and it's a lot better then, so a firmware update would be very much appreciated. Obviously, the spoked wheels really set this bike apart from the 400X, which has cast wheels. Still got the Metzeler Caro Street tyres on it, which look the part, but if you're going over really slippy, muddy stuff, you'd want something a bit more grippy. Maybe some Caro 4s. I love riding different bikes, but I really, really love this one. I'm genuinely considering buying it. If you want to ask me anything about it, hit me up at bikeclub.bennetts.co.uk.